The retaliatory attacks from the Al-Shabaab may be far from over as far as the Kenyan forces are still fighting in Somalia. This was a statement issued by Prime Minister Raila Odinga while delivering his speech to Parliament during the Prime Minister's time.
KDF, with the approval of the Cabinet and of this House, joined the African Union mission to Somalia, that's AMISOM, contributing a total of 4,660 military personnel. The KDF integration into AMISOM externalized the cost of the mission with guaranteed reimbursement through the AU-UN system. The projected costs stand at 7.5 billion Kenya shillings for operational enablers, that's equipment, and Kenya shillings 3.2 billion for rear operations.
The Prime Minister, who assured members of the august House that the rehearted Kenyan Defence Forces will continue to fight the terror group in Somalia, urged Kenyans to appreciate the role of the Defence Forces in liberating Somalia.
Mr. Speaker, when you go into a war, you go with a timeline. Don't we run the risk of overstaying in Somalia? Can the government give us a clear line, because we are paying money to keep our soldiers there? When will we take our soldiers out of Somalia? Because the government itself declared that the mission has been accomplished.
But Mr. Speaker, I want to assure Honorable Dio, first, we were not invited. We went to Somalia out of need. That's why the operation was dubbed Operation Linda Inch. Mr. Speaker, we are in Somalia in order to protect our country, in order, Mr. Speaker, to secure our borders. And Mr. Speaker, so long as the situation in Somalia is not resolved, Mr. Speaker, there will continue to be the need for our troops to be in Somalia.
We have heard that a number of countries have opened their embassies right in Mogadishu, despite the insecurity there, so that they can create confidence for even the Somalis who can reinvest back in Somalia. Why is Kenya, up to now, hesitating to open up its embassy in Somalia, in Mogadishu in particular?
For quite some time, Mr. Speaker, the security situation was such that it was dangerous, Mr. Speaker, to post our staff in Mogadishu. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason why the embassy has continued to operate from Nairobi is purely as a result of security situation there in Mogadishu.
The PM also assured Kenyans of their safety from attacks, even though the country remains vulnerable to attacks by the ragtag group till Kenya withdraws its forces.
What I want to clarify from the Prime Minister is the internal security of this country has never gotten the necessary support as that is commensurate to the threats posed to this country, particularly in respect to the CCTV cameras, for instance, for surveillance purposes.
I would like to inform the honorable member that we have now acquired about $100 million, which is going to be used, Mr. Speaker, to install CCTV in our cities, starting with Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. We are going to start the installation almost immediately.
Forces have done very well, exceptionally well, and therefore it will be wrong to cast aspersion on the entire defense forces. However, we must accept that there are lapses that on the issues that we raised, and that needs to be clustered and segregated instead of collectively condemning the entire defense force, Mr. Speaker.
That Kenyan soldiers know how to fight, Mr. Speaker, highly professional, and that their engagement, Mr. Speaker, both on the land, from the sea, and by air, Mr. Speaker, has shown a very well-trained and very well-disciplined force, Mr. Speaker. So I want the honorable member to be patriotic enough and give credit where it is due. That these young Kenyans, men and women, Mr. Speaker, are prepared to give their very best. Mr. Speaker, they put their lives on the line in defense of the country, Mr. Speaker. What we need at this moment, Mr. Speaker, is stand behind them 100%, not to be praising Ethiopians when our own people are placing their lives to save our country.
Kenya forces that went to Somalia in an operation that was dubbed Operation Linda Nchi, whose achievements have culminated to the liberation of the Lower Juba region, among other areas, have since been rehearted to AMISOM troops that is now mandated with the responsibility of restoring rule of law to the failed state of Somalia.